Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. My name is Joe Rokop, Managing Director of Commodities and Equities here at Simpler Trading. AV good. We should be good on Facebook. And we should also be good on YouTube. If you guys could give me a quick XOXO. All right, looks like we are up and running. So thanks for being here, everybody. My name is, again, Joe, for those of you who don't know me. What I'm going to be going over today is a little bit about what happened today, what we did today, and some of our wins we've had. And I'm going to talk a little bit about also the class we have coming up and kind of a signal service that we have as well. First and foremost, let me go over the trades we did today in the signal service so you guys know what it is I'm talking about. We sold an S&P 3-lot here at 39.41 half. We were stopped out here at 39.47. So let me show you that. Okay. So we sold 41 halves. And stopped out at 47. Now our proposed targets were over here. Okay. And for a $1,700 win. So we risked 900 to make about 1,800. So 1 to 2. Okay. Our second trade was back in the ES where we re-engaged that trade. Okay. Let me show you where. We re-engaged that trade as the market topped out here and EMAs crossed and we started moving lower. Okay. We also put an NQ trade on at the same time. So I was a bit conservative and covered one at break even. And then we got filled lower and lower, which was an $1,100 win. Now, if you did not take the conservative method, okay, and you stayed in, it would have looked like this. Or that would have been $2.4 thousand had you not taken the conservative route, okay? But I wanted to keep conservative, give the conservative option to everybody. And so when I'm doing this and recording my fills, I'm always going to record it with the verbatim versus the alerts I send out and my exact fills, which I also send out. Okay, now the next thing we did was short the NQ. Let me show you that trade. Okay, so we shorted the NQ right up here. Well, I actually did this twice. I shorted the NQ up here. Okay, when it rallied up, hit the VWAP and covered on the way down here at 908. I actually took a reversal and took it back up. Now, I didn't have the ability, or I wasn't able to send these alerts out in time to all of the folks in the Mastery signal service, but we did catch this final break here. So we went short as the market turned. The ES and the YM were also breaking at that time, giving us more confidence in this trade. And then we covered along our HVA levels, or high volume areas, at 942, 930, and 910. So we made $2,500. So overall, the P&L on the day was $2.7 thousand. Okay. And that was with an account size as small as 6,000. Okay. And the only reason, well, as small as 5,000 actually, because we sold one and bought one at the same time. So the max margin requirement of this trade was $1,000 per contract. And we had, at the longest period of time, we had 5 lots on. Now, most of these are designed to start with 10K minimum, but you can also do this with an even smaller account if you want to trade the micros instead of the minis. Okay, that would be the micros instead of the minis, and you can do this with an account as small as $500. Okay, you can do this with an account as small as $500. And the difference is you are taking 1/10 of the risk and 1/10 of the reward. Okay, so the objective is if you start it with a smaller account, right? You wouldn't, instead of making $2,560, you would have made $256. Okay, because a micro is 1/10 of a mini. All right, so you can get started with an account and follow all of these prices and trades at the exact same levels, but it will just be 1/10 the risk. Okay, again, that'll just be 1/10 of the risk. So that's one of the nice things about this system that I'm doing and this alert service and this class. So if you want to learn how to do this on your own, definitely take the class coming up here. We'll send out a link for that. And then if you also want to get the alerts, best of both worlds, do the master as well. But what's nice in addition to that, if you take the class, we do have 5 live trading days, okay, where we will be working on this system throughout the day. And so we'll have days, in theory, we'll have multiple days like this. And again, the signal service so far, we just started it last Wednesday, is up $12,840. And that is based off of an account size of $10,000. So it's already at a 120% return. And the cost of the mastery is 1/10 of that. So you would have paid for your annual membership 10 times, or 8 times. Monthly membership, you would have paid for it about 1/4 of that. So anywho, we strongly encourage you. The class is going to be great. Tons of really, really wonderful feedback from everybody. Lots of excitement, lots of buzz here at Simpler. So we strongly encourage you folks to do that and to really get on board. Should be a heck of a lot of fun, for sure. Okay. So a little bit more here. All right. So what are we going to discover is proven strategies for unprecedented market conditions. Easy to follow entry signals designed to catch big moves while avoiding these emotional mistakes. And then a trading plan, right? This is all going to be covered in the class again. That fits different time frames and be applied to accounts of any size, including small accounts down to $500. And so here's just some more examples of some of these nice trades. But I wanted to show you, give you something straight out of the horse's mouth, right? And just show you today, yesterday, day before, 6 days in a row now. But here's an example, right? Don't mess with the bull market. And we identify patterns that make trading futures really simple, right? And here's an example where we're not just trying to buy the low and catch a falling knife over and over and over again. That gets pretty exhausting. We can trade as the market turns back up. Okay, this trade was at 4.1 thousand, took 2 hours. Okay, now, we also want to, this methodology also reads the market really well. And we want you to be aware of all of these opportunities. This trade in the NQ was 5.5 thousand in 27 minutes. Okay. The risk on this was 1,200 and the reward was $5,500. That's a 1 to 4 risk reward ratio. So the thought process is like, if you are struggling to maintain consistent profits, well, often that's due to just mental drainage, which is challenging. So are you over trading? Are your eyes glued to the computer? Are you always getting faked out? Do you want to scale up your account or grow a larger account? That's kind of what we're focusing on. And some of you might ask, well, why futures? Why not options? Futures are very easy to follow. Liquidity is a piece of cake to get in and to get out. There's good leverage if you use it responsibly. And again, low hurdle to entry because you can start with those smaller accounts. And my thought is we don't need to make this incredibly complex, right? We want to kind of break these signals down into that simpler fashion. We encourage you to really reinvest within yourself with a small amount of education that can have great results, right? Past performance, it's required of us, of course, to say future performance is not indicative of past performance, right? But if we're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and we have consistent results, that's what we're going to look for going forward. So with futures, there's no need to monitor a big long list of stocks. Okay, I focus on 6 futures in the market that I trade on a day-to-day basis. We have a trading room, and within the trading room, I send out alerts, okay, which were similar to alerts that I do in the mastery, but the mastery alerts are going to be more frequent. They're going to be bigger, right? In December, $15,382. In January, $21,215. February, $25,462. So a total P&L of $62,059.82 in 3 months, based off of a $10,000 margin requirement. Okay, with a small broker. So far in March, we're at 12.4 thousand plus today, which was about 2,500. So we're at about 15,000 so far here in March. Okay, and then the alerts I've already showed you, or the P&L for the mastery I've already showed you. For those of you who don't know me, again, Joe Rokop. I'm from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Major was industrial and enterprise systems engineering with a focus on business systems integration and consulting. So an engineering mind, professional experience. I moved straight out to Manhattan and worked on the NYMEX. I've been on the proprietary side, the commercial side, and now here I've settled into trading education. So kind of why am I doing this? And with the right knowledge, change is possible. I've helped experienced and novice traders, get results and gain independence. I love coaching. I love working with people and working on a team. My dad was my coach, from the day I could walk, playing soccer, to the day I went off to college. Obviously, he did not coach me in college, but he did go to every game. And coaching is a real passion of mine, so I really like working with other people and kind of guidance. It's just kind of in my nature. So again, I started on the NYMEX, right? And if you've seen the movies, it's just like the movies times 10, really. You have to know what's going on that side of the pit, that side of the pit. Everyone's yelling all at once, and there's orders and so much volume traded. So understanding that volume is what really kind of gives me that edge in the commercial and proprietary sides, hedge funds, right? So I've traded commodities, crude oil, indices, and equities. So the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, and I've done that through futures, options, and derivatives. But I'm focusing on futures here. I was also a market maker, so I could trade in both directions, okay? So that kind of background, like I said, gives me an advantage when analyzing volume, which is precisely how we are able, or were able, and am able to put up these types of consistent results. Okay. And that's really the whole objective, right? To put up consistent results. So I was the chief architect of algorithmic and HFT trading strategies, and I'm sure you guys have all heard of algos and HFTs before. I won't bore you with the details, but I built those strategies back in the day, so I know how they work. So I can understand when computers are taking over, right? And how I don't get sucked into false signals, right? And that's how I discovered this pattern recognition to keep out of losing trades, number one, or B, number two, as it were, ride those big winners longer, okay? And so in the class, we're focusing on my favorite setups for this type of market, okay? There's a lot of set it and forget it, right? Where you put a trade on in the evening, put in your targets, put in your stop loss, and kind of see what happens. Here in the NASDAQ, this was a $6.6 thousand winner on March 3rd. It was a little reversal signal. The day before, we had been breaking. As you can see, we did catch a bottom, which was near an HVA level, and then it rallied up overnight. Okay, now when we woke up, it was actually lower than our initial buy price, but we caught that bid on the way up. We caught that, okay? So then when we wake up in the morning, it's all the way down here. Well, then we can buy it again and take it back up a second time in a row. So the signal and the entry methods are for all seasons, right? For the short-term intraday stuff, the overnight stuff, and then the longer stuff, okay? Again, here's another set it and forget it signal. This is a nice win we had in crude, $11.3 thousand. And then there's that fast intraday profit as well, right? So here's, example. This trade was about 6 minutes. So it's in that 30-minute time frame. Sell here as the market breaks. Cover, cover, cover. This is in the S&P 500. Okay, so what do you need to get started? Again, to mimic this strategy, you can have an account size as small as 10K, looking to kind of grow this exponentially as you scale up and add more lot sizes. But again, if you're new to futures, you can get started with $500, okay, with the recent advent of the micro. And so for trading a 3 lot in the S&P and you're doing minis, it's $50 a point. If you're doing micros, it's $5 a point. Okay, so you can follow right along with the exact same entry level, the exact same exit level, the exact same stop loss, but your risk is going to be 1/10 of the size. Okay, and then here's kind of a further explanation of the micros. Another overnight trade here in the NASDAQ. This was about $8.2 thousand. And this is how my signals go out. Okay, sell 3 here, buy 1 here, buy 1 here, buy 1 here, and then here's your stop loss. Okay, so you just enter at this level, place your bids, place your stop, and walk away. Okay, so you can see all those signals in the lower left-hand corner of these, all right, or of these slides. So this is all based off of a checklist, right? And it uses what I call the VWAP chart, or the strike zone chart, with a VWAP, an EMA, and a CCI, and then a tick chart. So there's a specific way that we arrange all of these. If you're using Top Step, if you're using TOS, if you're using Infinity or Sierra chart, we can send you these chart books, okay? And you can use them immediately, right? So you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? All of this kind of comes with the class. And again, these are on 3 time frames, intraday, overnight, and multiple weeks. Okay, so here's an example from time frame 1, 1800, time frame 2, 4200, time frame 3, 11,300, And then the strategies are working well to the wide ranges, the high volume, and the swings. Okay. And then the signals that we're going to be covering are the runaway signal, the rebound signal, the middle out signal, the fire sale signal, and reversal signal. Now, I also want to note losses, of course, are acceptable, right? You're not going to have a hit ratio of 100%. Like I showed you from today, we had 2 winners and 1 loss, right? 2 winners and 1 loss. The first loss was for 900. Each of our wins were greater than that, 1,100 and 2,500. Now, had we kept the original bid down at 22.5, that would have been $2.4 thousand, $2.3 thousand. But I wanted to be conservative in this particular instance. But again, I want to reiterate that we do have losses, but we kept them. Okay. Here's a graph of our P&L, kind of moving up over 3 months. And this is kind of what we're offering here. So the basic package, a pro package, and an elite package. So the class is this Saturday, March 12th from 12 to 4 p.m. Okay. There's also an installation session for charge that's going to be recorded. Okay. And that's for $497. We have the pro package, which is for $797. So that includes the 5-hour class on Friday, 4 to 5 hour class on Friday. And then we have 2 days where we are trading live. Okay. And that's March 30th and April 1st. Those are also recorded, so you can rewatch those. And it should be known that the class is recorded as well. So if you can't make it or can only make part of it, don't worry. It's going to be recorded, and you can rewatch that at your leisure, right? And you can watch it as many times as you want, right? Go back, take notes, take questions. And then the elite package, we have 5 trading days total. And that's where we really have the opportunity to potentially have days like this: 900, 1,500, 1,100, 3,500, 2,900, 2,800, right? Which just about any one of those days would have offset this elite package, right? Not to mention all 6 of them combined. Now, again, we never know. The market could go nuts and we could have a couple down days, and that's fine, right? We're not worried about that. So obviously we can't make any specific promises. I can just show you what we have been doing, what has been working, and what I plan to do in the future. Okay. And again, we have this bonus live trading day. So with the pro package, you get 2. The elite package, you get 5. And also, as kind of an additional bonus, we're going to send you a free month trial for my newsletter. Okay. This is about 15 to 17 pages every other week. And in that newsletter, we have these HVA levels, high value area levels. Okay. And that's where we see our levels of support and resistance. Okay. And these levels are what I base the majority of my exits on, my targets on. Okay. So we really encourage you to join us. It should be a lot of fun. It's this Saturday at 12 o'clock. And again, I believe we sent out a link. Amelia, if you could send out one more. Question about the live trading sessions. Will it be paired during your time when you are in the futures room, or is it going to be separate? It's going to be separate. It's going to be separate. So it's not going to be when I'm in the futures room. Not to mention, these are all like 2 or 3 hours straight. In the live trading day, also there's a morning and an afternoon session. So it's a lot. There's a lot more time, right? So I'll have the opportunity to go through trades in a lot more detail reference the class slides, right? And say, all right, here's what we taught in the class. Here's what we did live. And go from there. Yes, the basic package provides all of the chart books. Folks, if you just want to get started with the basic package, that's totally fine. And then see how it goes. And then if you want to upgrade down the road, that's fine too. Starting with that basic package and then upgrading down the road, that's a nice way to get into it as well. If you're interested in, learning a little bit along the way, totally a good, acceptable idea. And yes, all of those charts do come with. So a slow EMA and a fast EMA. So EMA stands for exponential moving average. So a slow EMA essentially, here, let me exit out of this. So if you look at this chart, the slow EMA is tracking the candlesticks at a more regressed rate, whereas the fast EMA is hugging it much more tightly, right? So it's a fast, meaning the period that it adjusts, right? It's like a whole moving average or a volume weighted average. This is an exponential weighted average. So it's just a matter of how the math is done, but the concept is the same. Okay, so volume can be fake, yes. So we can see volume go into the market, okay, and look like the market's going to pop off and really, really run. But it turns out it's just a computer, an algorithm, tossing a bunch of bids into the market, trying to squeeze everyone out before they smash it and take it the other way. Okay, and that's another thing the class will be focused on. New to CR chart, have any tips on setting up your middle bottom volume bar? Looks very useful. If you have the class, the chart book from the class, it won't require any setup. This was built a long time ago. And in terms of how to set it up, again, this is all preloaded for you through the class. So we will be discussing, one uses it similar to the tick chart function on TOS, but this one is a bit more specific to the individual and or the most recent trades. Okay. All right. So I've about hit my time here, so I'm going to get going. You might have time for one more question. You are welcome. Okay. Again, this is what we are offering. We're really excited for you guys and have an outpouring of signups already. And it's going to be a really, really fun time. And I'm super excited. Customers are excited. Clients are excited. The live trading is going to be awesome. And we really just hope you guys walk away with so much knowledge, and you can use this for the rest of your life. So super pumped. So with that, I will bid you adieu. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Lots and lots of love. And as always, have a profitable day.